Hello guys, if you're just catching this is part 2 of sharing my spiritual awakening journey with you guys so you can understand me a little bit more, knowing where I came from, what I experienced, and how this may be able to help you, how I may be able to be a teacher to your awakening. So I encourage you to check out part 1 where I describe what my suffering was, how strong my suffering was, and a little bit more about me. I will link it in the comments down below, and I will add it to the end of the video as well. Or actually, I'll add it right here. Anyways, welcome back. Today, I want to continue, as I have talked about my suffering in the first video, I want to talk about how I found growth from my suffering. So if you are suffering right now, whatever that may be, you're suffering anxiety, fear, depression, hopelessness, feeling like you have no purpose, you're suffering trying to keep up with this material world, you're trying to keep up with the societal structures, whatever it may be, suffering has many different categories. That suffering can lead to growth, and I'm going to share and how it led to growth for me. So as I said prior in the previous video, I suffered fear and anxiety like crazy, fear and anxiety cycle. Didn't know how to escape, was looking inside of this material world to escape. But in the way in which it led to growth is because the suffering was such a strong pull, okay? The suffering was such a strong grasp, okay, that I wanted a damn way out. It was miserable. I needed out. And it was so strong that it led me to investigate where it was coming from. Now, that investigation of where your suffering comes from can lead you down a lot of different paths. I spent a lot of time looking in the material world for a way out. It wasn't until I started to investigate and stumble upon non-duality that I really started to discover there was something more than you are conditioned to believe about this material world in this matrix. The more and more I looked into it, the more and more you can say I learned. The more and more you could say I understood. But it wasn't until I actually looked into my direct experience and got all of the answers that I needed. But I want you to know that your suffering can be an avenue to growth. Mine was, and yours can be too. And I encourage you, if you are suffering what I mentioned earlier in this video, in any way, shape, or form, that you investigate who you really are and what reality really is. This is when I finally seen truth without the filter of my mind. This is what really led me to waking up fully. It wasn't until I looked in my direct experience. And I'm not going to dive into it too much here. I have many other videos doing that, and I will continue to post many other videos. I simply want to share my journey with you. When I looked in my direct experience, and I looked for that inherent assumption of separation that we all believe, well, I don't want to put people into a box or a category, that is believed. The conventional way of believing for most people is that we are all separate individuals. It wasn't until I actually looked for the individuals, the separation, and the world existing outside of me, that everything revealed itself. I could not find separation. I could not find an outside world outside of me, and I could not find separate individuals. There is no theory or concept needed for this. I could not find everything that I was taught, conditioned, and molded and shaped to believe by the system, by the matrix. I couldn't find it. And then it started to reveal itself that I have been living in a cage for what we consider 30 some odd years, as I'm 32 years old. I have been living in a cage. I have been trapped by my own narrative, trapped by conditioning, trapped by the matrix itself, and have been missing out on the beautiful unfolding of the eternal life that I am. When everything was revealed to me without a theory, without a conclusion, without the mind, when everything was finally revealed, everything that I once believed I was suffering naturally subsided. My suffering was based on me believing that I am a separate egotistical identity, separated from everyone and everything that I need to protect, defend, and maintain an image, a self-image and an identity image. And that is, I cannot claim this for everyone, but I can say this with confidence. That is the biggest illusion of life itself. That is what is meant of this material world, knowingly or unknowingly, the way that it is structured and set up. When we reside on that level, on the surface level, the basic level, and we are asleep to truth, and we are asleep to our power, we will only ever access that energy and that vibration. And that is the lowest source of energy, the lowest frequency, and the lowest vibration, the lowest everything that you could ever be in touch with. And my fear, my anxiety, and the control that the stories had over who I believed I was, the cage that I had built around myself, was broken, and I was set free. And I haven't looked back. I wanted to share this insight with you guys so you could know a little bit more about me, what I am, and where I come from. I'm speaking and teaching from experience directly, as I have woken up from this matrix. Now, many people can say, well, that's a belief, that's a belief. Nothing is used of mind to wake up. Nothing is used of concepts. Nothing is used of theories. You just have to look in your direct experience. What you must do is remember who you are and what you are, and what you must do is remove the blindfold. Remove the headset that has been feeding you the information that you have believed your whole life. And truth will be revealed. And when you notice truth, there is no going back to the matrix. You still move through it, but you know that you are it. You know that all of the power that once had captured you of the matrix no longer has that grip, no longer has that power. You are set free. And the choice is yours. You can continue to look on the outside of you, or you can look within, at yourself, at reality, at life itself, you, all of us. But I wanted you guys to know a little bit more about me, so thank you for watching. I hope you can subscribe to the channel and continue to stay tuned to my messages and videos as I post more and share more with you guys. And my current subscribers, I just want to say thank you, because none of this is possible without you. I just started this channel recently, not too long ago, and it's continuing to grow, and my message is getting out there. And that is where I knew that I wanted to place my energy once I escaped from these chains, as I wanted to help others escape as well, because what I felt was miserable. and I want it out. So take care, guys, and thank you for listening to my story, and much love to all of you.